What's up, guys? This is Gerald with Roman Roof Cleaning, Roof King Products. I have people ask me all the time, how do you just start a business? I've owned probably 15 or so different businesses, maybe more than that. But people ask me, how do you just start a business? I mean, how do you do that? Well, I guess, I've been called a serial entrepreneur because I just I've done it so much. But at the end of the day, it's not near as hard as what people think. To start a business, all you need to do mainly is just do it. That's the first thing. But just go down and you can go to your courthouse, get a DBA, which means doing business as, and you come up with your name. So mine's Roman Roof Cleaning or Roof King Products, whichever one. But you go down and tell them you want to start a business, and it's Roof King Products. And then, so they give you the DBA. It costs like $20. Then you bring that over to the bank, and you tell them you want to open up a bank account. And so they use that DBA. They open up a bank account in your business name. And you have to do that because if somebody writes you a check, then to your business name, you won't be able to cash it. Obviously, you could just tell everybody to write it to your personal name, but to do it properly, you get the DBA, go to the bank, get a bank account. At that point, you just advertise, and when somebody calls your number, you go do the job, and then you collect. You're in business. Done. It's a done deal. So I just wanted to post this video because so many people, they make it way harder than what it really is. That's literally all you have to do. But the number one thing that I've seen with people wanting to start businesses is just procrastination. I'm not saying just up and quit your job and open up a business, and then go from there. You can start a business on the side, and then as it builds, then, once you feel comfortable, then you can move out to do it full time. But I don't, some of you guys are younger than I am. When I was a little younger, there used to be a big push for people to get into real estate, buying real estate and sell it. Well, they had infomercials all the time, and I used to watch a lot of them because I wanted to be in real estate, and I bought the books, and I paid the money to do all that stuff. And of course, I didn't do it. I did actually later in life, but I didn't do it then. I had all the tools, I had all the information, but I didn't have the guts to do it. Well, one of the things that they talked about on all those infomercials, in the books, everything I got, the number one thing about starting a business is doing it. You just have to just push yourself and make yourself do it. Just make the step. And that was the one thing that was most valuable to me out of all of that stuff that I learned from, is the number one thing is just to do it. Forget if you know how, forget if you have the right equipment, and I know that sounds dumb, but forget all of that stuff. Just step out and do it. Once you get the ball rolling, I like to say, kick the ball and then chase it. Some people like to have the ball and cuddle the ball and make sure the ball's great. You're never going to be prepared for everything. That's just a simple fact. So kick that ball and then chase it. Just about everything that I've done, and I'm not saying not get instruction and not, obviously I teach, and I think that everyone should be educated the best of their ability before they start something. But study on Facebook, study on Google, go to classes, do whatever, and get some knowledge. But you're not going to know everything when you start. Get as much information as you can, then kick the ball, and then at that point you just chase it. Which means, like for instance, one of the businesses I started was truck accessories. Well, I didn't know anything really about truck accessories. I had worked on my own truck and stuff like that, but so what I did, I kicked the ball. And then once I got in it, and people would call and ask, if we had a product or if we knew how to do it or whatever, at that point I would tell them if I knew it, I would say yes. And if I didn't, I would say, I tell you what, let me get back with you on that. I'll call you in a little bit. And then I would investigate it, find out what the deal is, get back with them. And that way I was educated whenever I called them. Same way with this. You know, if you start this business and a customer asks you a question you don't know, that's okay if you don't know. Just tell them that's not something you've experienced. So you can either tell them you can study it and figure it out, and you can definitely do it for them, or you can tell them about somebody else that refer someone. You can get a guy to help you on that project. There's a lot of different ways of making the thing happen, but there's a lot of ways of getting things done without just saying you don't know. So if I can give you any piece of information, insurance, that was the one thing that I forgot to tell you. You want to get insurance, because especially when you're new, if you damage something, it could take, it could be detrimental. So DBA, go to the bank, get a checking account, get you some insurance, and then go to work, advertise, and just start doing jobs. But if there's one thing that I want you to learn from this video, it's kick the ball. Kick that ball as hard as you can, and then chase it, and whatever comes, you'll figure it out. I mean, that's one thing that I've done in lots of things. At one point, I was a developer, and when I say that, I was more of a small-time developer. We opened up a bunch of tire stores, and I was the developer for those. So what I would do is I would find property for those businesses, then I would buy the property, and then I would have to make sure it was zoned correctly, and then we would design plans, and then it was my job to go to the development coordinators at the cities and get the plans approved. And that is a major ordeal if you've never done it, especially with bigger cities. I mean, they put you through the mill. And so it's a great example of not knowing everything. When I first started, I didn't know anything, so I would just go to them and ask them what they wanted. I mean, I would just find out. But almost every single city that I got that I brought my plans to, trying to get permits, almost every one of them were different. So it didn't matter how much I knew, I still had to relearn it almost every city, because every city has a ton of more things that they want you to do. Of course, we started out in smaller towns, which a lot of times it's a handshake gets you in that one, but when you get to the bigger cities, they don't care who you are. I mean, if you pour a slab and you didn't get it inspected, you tear it up. I don't care if it costs you $1 million. They're going to make you just tear it right back out. So that's a great example of, you just got to kick the ball. So, I mean, I would kick the ball over into their court, and they would tell me what to do, and then I'd come back, and then I'd kick the ball in their court again until we finally got permits. So if you can't take but one thing away, take away to kick that ball, because if you do it, you will thank yourself. You can change your life. You can change the life for you, your family. There's nothing like being self-employed. Obviously, you've got to be self-motivated. So once you kick that ball, you can't sit around. You've got to get out, and you've got to hustle. You've got to talk to people, leave business cards everywhere you go, post Facebook ads, once a week at least. Go to chamber meetings. Go to any kind of meetings that you can go with your uniform on. Every time you go to a restaurant, leave a card there. Every time you stop at a gas station, leave a card on the gas pump. Tell all your family. Tell your family to tell family. I mean, you've got to live it. Once you decide you kick that ball, you've got to live it if you want to make it. So anyway, guys, if I'm always here to help if I can help anybody. But remember, just kick that ball.